Good evening, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 5:47. Day one just over of a very eventful and brilliant day's racing. Lots of great stories. At the very first race, training week victory for Barry Connell. He said he'd do it, and he did. I was listening to him up until it started raining the other day. I was on the horse all along. Just was absolutely unreal when I'm delighted for the horse and for him, but disappointed with myself for not staying loyal. I often use the word loyalty, but I thought I was doing the right thing, but probably overthought it, overcomplicated it, and should have stayed loyal. Brilliant victory for Constitution Hill. Great victory for El Fabiolo. He's an absolute beast of a horse. If he can't learn how to control his jumping and jump properly, he'd be a pure mule altogether. But Honeysuckle, the story of the day, I'm delighted that she won in her last performance. I've hated to have seen her getting bet by a head or a short head. Queensbrook ran on to be third. I had an each way anti-post on that months back. And then we got out of jail in the last with John McConnell's fallen with what do you call it? Gallagher de Menil. I couldn't see how it could be beaten, but it was going to be beaten. But we got lucky, just as we got lucky last year when Gallop and Deschamps fell. We had a double up that day with Bob Ollinger. Stig hit his nap with Honeysuckle, and he kept the faith with Facile Vega, who on the turn for home I thought was going to run away with it, which is a great win for Marine Nationale. So anyway, on to tomorrow. The handicap horses done no good. Both of them didn't jump properly. Tomorrow, first race is the 1:30, the Ballymore. Won by Sir Gerhard last year, a 7-year-old. He was the first 7-year-old to win this race since French Holly won it in 1998. And since 2000, only 4 5-year-olds have won, but 16 6-year-olds have won since the year 2000. Goodland is a 7-year-old. Cham Kiley is a 7-year-old. Impaire Passe is 5. And Gaelic Warrior is 5. And I came down. I have my own system for newcomers to the channel. This is the way I do things. And I go with trends and stats and whatever. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. And I went with Impaire or Hermes Alain. This is him winning the Challo, and he won it very well. He's a relentless and coasting. He seems to be a pure machine, that joke, a relentless galloper. So that's my choice. I know the Clan Sutton thinks an awful lot of Impaire Pastor, saying it's a pure freak. Barry Connell has said that he's definitely going to win tomorrow. That was 13-2 earlier. It's into 3-1 now. But I have decided with the Challo, even though there hasn't a great history, but it's 6. It has won at the distance. It has a lot going for trainer and forum, and that's who I'm backing tomorrow. And I know there's a lot of Shrudies on the bus that do their own thing, so I'm only just giving my view, as they say. The second race is the Brown Advisory, formerly known as the RSA. 11 declared, 5 favourites in the last 10 years. Since the year 2000, 17 7-year-olds have won this race. Champ won it and Might Bite, and they were both 8-year-olds. And 7 of the last 10 winners were 7-year-olds. The last 9-year-old to win this was in 1992 when Minnehomo won it, and Time Hill is 9. Sir Gerhard is 8, but Sir Gerhard is 2 for 2 at the track. So it's only its second lifetime start. Gerri Colombe is 7, Grade 1 winner. He's unbeaten. He went over to England and won the Grade 1, the Scilly Isles. This was him, and the farther the went, the further he beat Montmoral a long way in that. The real whacker only beat Montmoral by 3 or 4 lengths. I'd rate Gerri Colombe the most likely winner, and the danger would be Sir Gerhard. As I said, he made a howler of a mistake. I was in Goran that day. It was Estes Day, and it ran a 2 mile, but it jumped all right apart from the one mistake that it made. But they're stepping it up to 3 mile in the hope, you see, that he'll be more careful. They won't be going as fast, and he'll get a chance to jump it. I wouldn't blame anyone for backing him each way at the price he is. He's a former pint or Lister bumper winner, and a pint-to-pint winner as well. 2 for 2. Bet Kilcrut in the and then won the Ballymore as well. So him at 11 to 2 is a real live each way chance, I'd say as well. In the 250, which is the Coral Cup, I was hoping that Winter Fog would run in this, and it doesn't run. There's 28 declared. 2 favourites since the year 2000. 5 to 1 favourite in 2020 was Dame de Capane, and a 4 to 1 favourite in 2003. 4 of the last 6 winners were 7-year-olds, and 5 of the last 7 were Irish trained. I was looking at San Salvador. He's a big white face in light blue on the rail.
Riann next with bread and butter and gronk of the teas. They pass the 5. Sit down, Lucy is closing. Then Delante and Captain Conbean, Lady Rita, no Floodon and Blanket on the ground, being followed then by Zafanian, Gatsby Grey, Cotty, McAvenny Goal, and ridden along and losing ground as Jukebox Jive. Over the flight, half a mile from the finish, as they head for the second last, and it's Legacy Thor, challenged by a smooth running San Salvador, who goes up to match strides at the second last. There's not much between them. Then off your Rocco, who's followed by What You're Doing and Gronk of the Tay, and Riann and Bread and Butter, and Captain Conby is trying to pick up ahead of Sit Down Lucy, no Floodon, and the Gatsby Grey and Delante and Lady Rita and Zafani, and then Cotty McAvenny Goal. But gone clear with this race is San Salvador, turning in with 1 flight to jump. It is San Salvador and JJ Slevin. They will take some pegging back here. Captain Conby has gone after the leader. Then Legacy Thor, who can't offer any more, followed by Gronk of the Tay, but it's San Salvador at the final flight. San Salvador over by 6 lengths to Captain Conby, and then Gronk of the Tay. Legacy Thor is next, being followed by Bread and Butter. It's San Salvador. Coming on the outside is Captain Conby, but is running out of...
That was a day that older or long-time passengers will know that it was the day that I had picked. There was 3 in the race. I picked Riann to win. And I was saying Captain Conby and Rank at the tie, but it was real heavy ground, and Riann ran terrible that day. And then it came out and it won. It beat Spanish Harlem the next time out. But that's well handicapped. It's and if it didn't win so much and so smoothly the last time, it wouldn't have got in. Captain Conboy is 5. What's that? £9. He's £4 better off with the weights in when they're in England now. But San Salvador was put away at that point. HMS Seahorse, it won. It's up £10 or something since its last win. Langer Dan, it's profile, you know, a 7-year-old as well, but it has a good chance. It ticks a lot of boxes. Camprand won for us in Punchestown last year. It's lower than it was in this race last year, but it doesn't like soft ground, even though we just got away with it in Punchestown. But I would give Riann a good chance. This was Riann the day he won.
Third now than Kiki Badger. His fine margin just relegates a ridden along Navy Waves to be last of the 6th Ted, with half a mile to go and 2 flights to jump. Riann stoked by Spanish Harlem. In 3rd place is Ivan. Fine margins on the move on the outside of Kiki Badger, and daylight now to Navy Waves. As they spin into the straight to the final two flights, it's Riann by a half to Spanish Harlem, nudged up on the outside. In third place, and apparently travelling okay, is Ivan the Red Capped and Kiki Badger, fine margin leaving behind Navy Wave. The second last, it's Riann from Spanish Harlem and Ivan, then Kiki Badger and fine margin. On the run in between the final two flights, it's Riann and Spanish Harlem who's trying to get on terms. Ivan not far behind them in third, and at the final flight, it's Riann and Spanish Harlem. Good jump by Riann. Maintains a couple of lengths advantage over Spanish Harlem. On the far side is Ivan. It's Riann from Ivan and Spanish Harlem as they go towards the line. It's Riann from
Spanish Harlem is very fancied for the Martin Pipe. It's 5-1 favourite, or second favourite on Friday. We're paying 6 places, aren't they, in that? 6. God, there's a couple of them. 365 is paying 7 places. Shop around for the best prices, but Riann at 20 to 1, 25 to 1. 25 to 1, they're paying 7 places. Is a nice each way bet, I'd imagine. Field Door. A bus horse for so many times, napped a couple of times by the Stig, and it won the last day. That was the race that the horse was third. God, my memory. Dr. Bravo, that's the one we're looking. He didn't do too well today. The 3:30 is the big race tomorrow. It's the Queen Mother. Only 4 favourites in the last 10 years. And since 2000, only Altior in 2018 and 19 and Masterminded in 2008 and 9 have repeated victory, like went back to back. Spencer Sacra won it twice, all right, but it was 2013 and 2016. So it's hard to do it. So a younger horse, well, there's 5 9-year-olds this year and 2 8-year-olds, but the previous year's Arkle winner normally runs very well in the next year, and that's what happened with in Ergamine last year and the year before. And I came down on Edwardstone. This is the Clarence house that day. No, or Alan King has done it before, and I would imagine he'd have it very much right for tomorrow. Less miles on the clock than a lot of them. Last year's Arkle winner. It's going to be a fascinating race because tactics is going to be absolutely crucial. Editor De Geet is going to go out in front, but I'm on Edwardstone. The 4:10 is the cross-country chase, won last year by Delta Work. He was even money all week, and all the money has come in the last couple of days for Galvin. But he's supposed to be over there training, somebody told me. I don't know whether that's true or not, around the course. But Delta Work, I would hope, does the business. We, in our hot pot, a queue, we have 2 up. We're lucky to be alive after the second one, so we need Delta Work and Shishkin for the other 2 legs. So Delta Work is rated 159. If this was a handicap, he'd be getting £6 or £7 from Galvin. But with the experience of winning it last year, I don't know who had Keith Donoghue or Russell, who had the choice. But we'll stay with Delta Work. And then we have the Grand Annual. 24 declared, 2 favourites in the last 10 years. There has been 3 16 to 1s, 2 28 to 1s, and a 66 to 1. 6 UK winners out of the last 10. That means 4 were Irish. We were on Andy Dufresne last year. We're 10s into 100 to 30. We're beaten by that's running this year. Global Citizen. but we got done. He needs good ground, soft, good to soft. Probably would get away with it. There's been money from him in the last few days. Final Orders has won 6 out of his last 7. He won over rating of 95, 6 over hurls. He's 150 now. I came down on the Joe Tizard trained Elixir De Nutz. The ground beat this as well last year. It was the day that was the heavy ground. It was pulled up in this race, but it had a good run behind. No, it beat Galahad Quest. We had a win out of Galahad Quest since then. But in the game spirit, it was gave £4 to Fenabolo or Civila, and it was rated £10, so it was way out at the ratings. So that would be my selection in that. Each way with mostly 6. It's a 16-1, 40-1 shot, and Andy Dufresne would be a smaller or maybe a reverse forecast with them. And then on to the concluding race, the bumper. Willie Mullins has 10 in this. We have mentioned a few times on the weekly show with the Stig, we've been on about. It's for me hard to be able to gauge how much it has improved since his last run, but Townend, the stable jockey, chooses him. Tom Gilligan, best luck to Tom. He has Loughlin, a County Roscommon village, running tomorrow as well. He had Sea Bank Bistro, it was 4th, I think, in this race last year. But we have Queen's Gamble as well, a bus horse, and we have it. I have a few pound on it each way at 14-1 months back. It's 2 for 2 at the track. So I'm going to stay loyal to the 2 that I've won money on before, which is Queen's Gamble. And they're paying 5 in a few places there. Queen's Gamble is 20-1. That was 10s and 12s, but it was second to last year, but it was a speed track. This it's more of a stayer, and it's for me. Now, anything can happen. I mean, JP has bought A Dream to Share. Young Gleason is riding that. But Mikey O'Sullivan is the leading jockey after he has 2 winners after today now. Townend is 2 as well. He was on the last one. But young lads have great balls, some of them, so Gleason won't be afraid to do what he's told. So I gotta go get this up. It's 6:10 now, 20 minutes talking. So bash the bookies. There was a couple of bets up today. Michael McCarthy had a winner and a second. He had an each way double, but he'd be in profit. And Peter Wood had Lucky 15. He had Marine Nationale, but Bad has gone down. But he had a fiver on Marine Nationale as well, so he has 27.50 coming back. So they're up. Them bets they're written up on the description on Saturday nights with the tips for Sunday gone by. If anyone wants to have a look at them, we're still waiting for Matthew Agnew, but he sent a message today that he get back before the end of the week. Bash the bookies, over and out.